At India's invitation, the Prime Minister of Malaysia visited India. Let us discuss the important highlights of this 3-day state visit. First of all, this visit has strengthened the relations between India and Malaysia. Accepting PM Modi's invitation, Malaysian PM Anwar Ibrahim arrived in India with a high-level delegation and received a very warm welcome. Bilateral talks took place between the two countries. MOUs were signed in various fields, and the ties between the two countries were elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership. A comprehensive strategic partnership means that bilateral cooperation between the two countries will now increase further, with both countries working closely together under a shared vision. There will be deeper collaboration not only in trade but also in various fields. For example, cooperation will be enhanced in areas such as climate change, culture, artificial intelligence, food security, sustainable development, and even defense.
This is a major upgrade in India-Malaysia ties. We know that under the previous Malaysian government, relations between India and Malaysia were strained. The reason was former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad's interference in India's internal matters. For example, he criticized the abrogation of Article 370. Malaysia is a Muslim majority country, so to consolidate the Muslim voter base, Mahathir Mohamad wanted to present himself as a champion of Muslim issues globally. For this, he made controversial statements such as alleging that India was committing wrongdoings in Kashmir and even making baseless claims that India had invaded and occupied Kashmir. He extensively criticized the CAA and NRC as well. As a result, diplomatic tensions between India and Malaysia increased significantly. India even took strong action by restricting the import of palm oil from Malaysia, which was a significant blow to the Malaysian economy.
Another point of friction in the relationship between the two countries is the extradition of Zakir Naik. For those who do not know, Zakir Naik is an Islamic preacher known for his controversial statements. He is accused of spreading extremism in India through hate speeches and is also accused of money laundering. He fled India in 2016 and the Mahathir Mohamad government subsequently granted him permanent residency in Malaysia. India has been requesting Zakir Naik's extradition since 2017, but Malaysia has been rejecting these requests. As a result, relations between India and Malaysia became strained. In 2022, a new government led by Anwar Ibrahim came to power in Malaysia. Under his leadership, there is a possibility of improved relations between India and Malaysia. This is the first time a Malaysian Prime Minister has visited India since 2018. Prior to this, Mahathir Mohamad had visited India in 2018 when the leaders of 10 ASEAN countries were chief guests at India's 69th Republic Day. Malaysia is also an ASEAN country. However, following that visit, relations between India and Malaysia deteriorated. Now, after 6 long years, with the visit of Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, relations seem to be normalizing again.
Regarding the extradition of Zakir Naik, Anwar Ibrahim stated that if India provides appropriate evidence, Malaysia will definitely consider the extradition of Zakir Naik, who is wanted in India. He mentioned that improving ties between India and Malaysia should not be halted due to this issue. Both countries agreed that in any form will not be accepted, supported, or tolerated. Malaysia's Prime Minister criticized Israel's actions in Gaza and called out Western hypocrisy, noting that while Western countries often speak about lives lost in Ukraine, they become silent when it comes to Gaza. He also raised concerns about minority issues in India, but expressed hope that India will take the necessary steps to address the challenges faced by minorities.
Considering the strategic location of Malaysia, this Southeast Asian country can prove to be a very important partner for India. Look at the map. These two regions together form Malaysia. As you can see, West Malaysia controls the Strait of Malacca, which is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. Then Malaysia is a key player in the ASEAN grouping, and India is strengthening its ties with ASEAN countries under its Act East policy. Malaysia will hold the ASEAN chair in 2025. so improved ties with Malaysia will boost India-ASEAN integration. Additionally, Malaysia is also a member of the Indian Ocean Rim Association, making it significant for maritime safety, security, and economic cooperation in the Indian Ocean region. Regarding the Indo-Pacific, both countries emphasized that freedom of navigation and overflight must be ensured, international laws should be followed, and disputes should be resolved peacefully. Obviously, this was a reference to China. China claims almost the entire South China Sea, leading to disputes with multiple countries, including Malaysia. Thus, India and Malaysia, two countries that historically opposed colonialism and imperialism, will also stand together against any forms of aggression today.
Recently, India hosted the Voice of the Global South Summit, a platform where Global South countries come together to address their concerns and discuss their interests and priorities. The term Global South refers to both underdeveloped and developing countries. The third edition of the Voice of the Global South Summit was held in 2024. Pakistan and China were not invited, while Malaysia attended all three editions. This indicates that Malaysia is an important partner for India in the Global South. Both countries have shared interests, including promoting economic development and cooperation among developing nations. They also seek to increase cooperation in organizations like the United Nations, which is widely regarded as losing its relevance and in desperate need of reforms. India and Malaysia support reforms in the United Nations Security Council, with Malaysia backing India's much-deserved permanent membership in the UNSC. Whereas, Malaysia is interested in joining BRICS and seeks India's support in this goal.
There is approximately $19.5 billion worth of trade between the two countries. Malaysia exports items such as palm oil, petroleum products, and electronic products to India, while it imports items like meat, dairy, cereals, sugar, and engineering goods from India. Malaysia wants India to reduce export restrictions on commodities like rice, sugar, and onions because local production in Malaysia is unable to meet the increasing demand for these commodities. In response to this demand, India has promised to provide an additional 2 lakh metric tons of rice to Malaysia during this visit. An agreement was also made between the two countries to promote trade settlement in local currencies, that is, the Indian rupee and the Malaysian ringgit. Settlement in local currencies will contribute to the global trend of de-dollarization. Further, India's UPI will be integrated with Malaysia's PayNet, which is Malaysia's national payment network. This integration will facilitate cross-border financial transactions and boost trade and business. An important agreement was also reached regarding the mobility of workers, which is expected to increase the recruitment of Indian workers in Malaysia.
Malaysia appreciated India's role in initiatives such as the International Solar Alliance and the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. There is significant potential for cooperation between the two countries in the fields of renewable energy and sustainable development. Additionally, cooperation will be increased in emerging sectors such as the semiconductors, fintech, AI, and quantum computing. Much was achieved during this visit of the Malaysian Prime Minister. Agreements were made to enhance cooperation in various sectors, including digital technology, tourism, education, sports, and culture. In the future, we may also see collaboration between the two countries in crucial fields such as space, nuclear energy, and vaccines. Overall, this visit was quite successful. The friendship between the two countries has been strengthened, and new avenues for collaboration have opened up. These are the major highlights of the Malaysian Prime Minister's visit to India. If you want videos on PM Modi's visit to Poland and Ukraine, please let us know in the comment section. That is all for this session. Thank you for your time.